Okay, everybody, thank you so much first and foremost for watching back on the replay. This is the Boostly podcast experience. This is something that we have never attempted before. We're going to do a marketing review live with a special guest. Now, in the Zoom room, we have a couple of the Boostly Academy members. If you want to find out more about the Boostly Academy, head to boostlyacademy.com. And what we're going to do today is I've got a very special guest with me, Mr. Jay Massey of the Cash Flow Diary. I'm going to ask a couple of questions, get to know Jay a little bit more, and then we're going to open it up to the Boostly Academy members, see if anybody would like to do a live marketing review with Jay and I, and we'll be able to hopefully make the host or help the host earn lots of direct bookings over the course of 2021, 2022, and beyond. So first and foremost, Boostly Academy members, if you could just do massive favor, just say a quick hi. I'm going to bring up on the screen. Just say a quick hi. Hello, hello, hello. Looking amazing as per always. Okay, so to my left, we've got Mr. Jay Massey. Jay, if you could just do me a massive favor, and to everybody who's in the room, a super quick 1 minute biography of who you are, where you are in the world, and how you help hosts and just people wanting to get into the short-term rental industry, please.
Thank you. Certainly. I am in I was going to say Los Angeles. It's technically Laguna Hills, but most people call it LA anyway, in California. So I'm on the other side of the globe, if you will. And we currently train and work with individuals in 17 different countries on this particular business model. I've been in the real estate space, or property space, as you guys would say, for a little over a decade and some change, and it's been quite a journey. We started out as squatting in bank-owned property, and then technically homeless. My wife was unable to eat or drink at the beginning, and over time we built a large enough portfolio of about 400 units or so of apartment units, anywhere from 5 to 180 units per building, and then single family homes. I've been the lender a number of times, as well as wholesaling and obviously now short-term rentals. Commercial real estate, like all on the high street type of stuff, as well as cell phone towers. These are all things that are within my wheelhouse. It's commercial. It's all about cash flow as far as I'm concerned. So today we focus on the short-term rental strategy as the number one way to get someone started in the real estate game, and then helping them transition to the ownership game vis-a-vis the business that they build on the short-term rental side.
Fantastic. And first and foremost, thank you very much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to be with us. We really do appreciate it. And I don't know if you have many people out of all the countries that you serve. I don't know you have many people in the UK and Western Europe, but again, I think for a lot of people who are maybe seeing or hearing from Jay for the first time, this definitely won't be the last. So I'm really looking forward to today. So first and foremost, this is a direct booking podcast. It's a marketing podcast for hospitality owners all over the world. The first question I want to ask Mr. Jay Massey, what are your best or most current sort of marketing strategies to get bookings for your properties that you have, or what are your favorite, would be another question to sort of paraphrase it.
Yeah, so the best strategy is always, well, at least in my opinion, it's the one that you're going to do the most consistently. So that is in and of itself the answer. So I can say something, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to work for you. However, we are in the process of building and leveraging some NFTs to be able to help us with extending our reach, not only into the crypto space for the reservations, but also from a referral and loyalty program component. So that is definitely the thing I'm the most excited about today.
NFTs, I think for a lot of people, when you're just mentioning that, people will be thinking, what are we talking about? So if you want to find out more about NFTs and cryptocurrency, we could go down a total other episode on this, but we have...
That's a different episode, but you asked the question, so I'm like, I don't know how to answer this any other way. So here we go.
It's a great question. It's a great answer. And it's something that I think a lot of people are wanting to talk about more. If you need to find out more about cryptocurrencies, please go back a couple of episodes. Luca from the Trips community, and Mr. Simon Lehman, and Emmanuel Pani, we delved into cryptocurrencies and NFTs and all that jazz. So we will park that, but that's a great answer. Something that I think a lot of people are looking into with sort of all of those digital currencies for payments moving forward to increase direct bookings and cut down over reliance on OTAs. But very nice. So let's go back to 2021. you have become more and more and more well-known thanks to an audio app called Clubhouse. That's how I discovered you. That's how many people have discovered you. And what I'd be interested to know is, what has the last 6 months of your life and business looked like? Now, the reason why I asked that question is that in doing the research for this podcast, I was checking out the YouTube channel, checking out social media, etc. And I noticed that videos seem to stop December 2020. So I was wondering, what have you been doing? What has been like the core focus of yourself, and how has this little app called Clubhouse sort of been brought into your world?
So, as many of you are aware or may have heard, there was an incident out in Minneapolis last year. And that incident with Mr. Floyd and his family rocked me to the core, to the point where I just could not be, I didn't feel positive. It just felt wrong. I just could not do it, any content production. I tell people I lost my voice. That's how I feel about it. I lost my voice. And it's actually because of Clubhouse that helped me find it again, if you will, because there was just, it was like, why put out the content? Why do I keep doing this? Especially because I don't have to. I mean, you guys know, when you're running a short-term rental business, it's not like you have to also put out content and make those commitments to individuals. And it's the spark that has been rejuvenated is amazing, because I was able to connect with individuals on Clubhouse, in this case, who were there when I first started the podcast way back in 2013. And they told me so. And they just continually just told me what the impact was and how it changed. And now still being in the short-term rental space, we've actually worked with and housed some of our students have housed some of the Floyds and in the family. And I've gotten to speak to them. And there's just more to do now. Right. And so during the 2020, part of what was also necessary is because of the pandemic and the way that it hit us, especially on the West Coast of the United States, is I had to literally rebuild the company. There's literally only one person outside of myself who's been here more than a year. So I had to put an entire new company together simultaneously with figuring out the new marketing strategies, while trying to deal with, my own emotions and just the impact of what happened has had just on my everyday trip to the grocery store or thought process around friends and family and those that know me. So it took a lot of being poured into, I guess is the best way of saying it, in order for me to go, you know what? Okay, it's time to get back and do and continue what we started, because it was, and will continue to make a difference. So that's basically what happened. Now, simultaneous to that, or concurrently, I should say, getting on Clubhouse put me in front of a lot of the right people. From a real estate standpoint. So right now we're opening up escrow, hopefully today, on a 12-unit building in DC. That's a $7 million deal. And then there's a hotel in Louisiana. That's when it's all said and done, it'll be about $6 million total in value. And then there's another property in Long Beach, and that's about $3.5 million, all in a very short span of time. And we have doubled, I think, the number of students and individuals that we are working with at this time as well. So it is a massive amount of growth. In fact, we are negotiating with some larger landlords now, looking for 40 units at a time. So I've got a massive amount of furniture moving all around the country, and we're just moving at very, very fast speeds and hiring people and doing our best to show individuals that here is the path of how you can go from squatting a bank on property to 7 figures. We've had a number of people do that now in less than 12 months. And that's exciting. And we want to keep that going, because I strongly believe that this year is going to be the year where we have more people hit 7 figures in 1 year than we've had combined in all of our priors.
Well, sometimes you got to pause to then go, full throttle, which sounds like you definitely have done. So again, well done, and thank you for sharing that story. Now, when I was doing a bit of research, I came across your vlogs, which was very entertaining back in 2017 when you started them. I mentioned them. I asked about The Office. For anybody who doesn't know, can you just explain to me? You've got all of these things going on, but where do you class as your office?
Everywhere. We have so many satellite offices. There's always seating. The coffee is great. It's also known as Starbucks, by the way.
so Starbucks is fantastic. I love that. And again, this is something where you started the vlog 2017. So what, coming up for nearly 5 years ago, but yeah, it's still somewhere that sits there in YouTube. And again, as much as we talk about it, and we mentioned it then, for hosts who are watching, tune in, bringing it back to you for a second. Anything that you're recording and putting out there and documenting of your day to day now, that will sit out there. So again, guests will love that, and you'll be able to look back on fondly. Now, the blog I was watching, you pulled up your booking engine and you were using Guesty as your PMS, which is really interesting to me. I love Guesty. The PMS is really fantastic. Now, are you still using Guesty now, or have you moved to a different system? What are you currently using for your tech stack and your tools behind the scenes?
Ooh, boy, tech stack is huge here. But Smart B&B, Guesty was long since replaced. But so Smart B&B primarily, I would say Smart B&B and Booking Sync are the two that we are primarily using. However, we're about to launch a Facebook campaign, so we might be adding owner res for some additional capabilities inside of there. So from a customer facing standpoint, that's what most people end up seeing. And then we also have we're also using Dialpad because I couldn't find a better phone system that would actually integrate all the two-way text and everything into one spot, so that we have the unified, not just unified inbox for email, but I needed it for phones, I need it for message, I need it for text, because our customer experience agents, during shift changes, et cetera, they need to be able to pick up the information that's been left. And that's probably the thing I'm still very proud of, is that our response time, despite growth, is still, we target under 7 minutes. I just checked yesterday. It was like 3 minutes, 55 seconds for the last 60 days. So I was like, yes, that's exactly what I want. So that way our customers are always being touched and talked to within, like I said, within 7 minutes, no matter when they are, no matter what time zone they're in, they know they get a response from us really, really fast.
So, okay, so that's some nice tools. And what I'll do, I know Jay mentioned really quickly off the bat, what I'll do is I'll make sure in the write-up that we get some links if you want to go check them out, because there are some new tools that Jay recommended there that I think many people over in Europe, etc., might not have heard of, but they're definitely ones to keep an eye on. Okay, so let's dial in some tactics. Now, something that I picked up on that you said that I really liked is you have to become the go-to. So, for example, when someone says to a coworker or a friend, hey, I'm flying into Orange County, or I'm going to London, or I'm going to wherever, where do you recommend? So this is about becoming the go-to. It's something I've touched upon, but I'd love to get your take on how some real simple steps that don't cost anything. How would you become the go-to in your local area? What are some of the simple little quick tactics that hosts can take to becoming that go-to?
The easiest way to become the go-to is, I looking at it this way. You know where your hospital is. And the reason you know where the hospital is because if you have a problem, you want to know where to go to get it solved. You become the hospital, AKA tell everyone about the problem you solve. Everyone wants to bring you their problems. Nobody wants their problems. No one wants to keep their problems all to themselves and say, no one wants to do that. They want somebody else to solve the problem. So if you advertise, I solve landlord vacancy, landlords will bring you their problem. I solve displaced people during floods, fires, and other natural disasters. They will bring you their problem. That's really what it comes down to. So long as you continually have that message, but the way that you get their attention to have that message is very singular as well. And it's what you do here on this podcast, and what you've known is that he or she who educates their market dominates it, period, hands down. Point blank. I didn't even say get paid for educating. I just be willing to educate the market. And you can do that in too many different ways, from simple Instagram, Twitter, TikTok posts, all the way to, courses and mentorships and a whole bunch of other things. The point is, you become the go-to person that has the answer to whatever the problem is. And the more complicated the problem, the better, because that funnel narrows, right? It just gets narrower and narrower because there aren't as many people who know what you know, right? And that's really what it comes down to. For example, in my case, one of our uniquenesses is we know how to use a person's retirement plans and involve it into their business in such a way that you can unlock the value in that retirement plan. For example, many people go to a hard money lender. Well, I'll go to people who are recently laid off, which sounds like that doesn't make any sense. Yet, the rules around retirement plans simply say if you're no longer working there, you can do many things with that retirement plan. It's been that way since 1974, but most people don't know it. And because they don't know, we become the educator. And because we educate them, we're often the only outlet they have to express what they just learned. So we intentionally adopt a strategy around educating always. And the simplest way, here's something every person listening, watching, reading the transcript can do. You can host a cash flow game. And it sounds silly, but I promise you, I can trace millions, and I mean millions, many millions of dollars to cash flow games. And that's how it started, because I didn't have some super marketing strategy. I was squatting in bank-owned property. I needed a way to get other people's attention. Education is it, but if you make education fun vis-a-vis a board game, not only will they show up, they'll bring friends.
I like that. And I hope that everybody is, especially those in the Zoom room. I mean, Jay's talking about 7 figures, etc. But I know a lot of people in here maybe are down, one property, couple of properties, etc. And I've really you're just trying to just think of how can you apply what we're saying and put it into the business, because I think there's some really important information being shared. And again, it may come from a lovely American accent, but again, we can take it and we can put it into practice in what we're doing.
I love how you lovely American accents. It's all good though. I think although that sounds funny to me to hear, that would be amazing. I would love to know what it sounds like to you guys to hear us speak. Anyway, I just got a little distracted. I'm back. The rabbit hole is done. Here's how you can use it. You get one board game, and on your turnover day, say you've got a turnover that departs at 10 or 11, you don't have a arrival till say 4 or maybe the next day. Schedule a cash flow game with individuals who you've been talking to. You've been talking about your business for a while. They're excited about it. You know they're excited about it. They know what you do, and you have one unit. Awesome. Have them come play the cash flow game inside your unit. And as you're playing, they can become either the next referral source for the next location, the next investor for the next location, occasionally the next guest for that location, right? My point is simple. The major reason, if you're still, on the smaller side, and if I'm shooting you very straight, because that's the only way I know to do it, the smaller you are, the harder this business is. It gets easier as you get larger. I want everyone to experience larger, much larger. Right. And because you can, and the need is there. The need has been in every city I have worked in. In fact, I'll tell you the 4 cities that, in my opinion, are difficult. It's just beyond all get out. They are Chicago, Amsterdam, Berlin, Barcelona. If you're not in one of those 4 places, and again, we can still find a way to get it to work. It's just really difficult. Those 4 places, this business model is there for all of us. And that's how I see it anyway, because it gives us an entry point into something that can feel exclusive. But this is by far the most inclusive real estate strategy, most universal real estate strategy I have ever seen, taught, or ever practiced. And it can start with something just as a cash flow board game. It doesn't have to be huge. And yes, I do talk with 2 commas most of the time, because that's what I think about, right? But the same strategy can be applied. That's how I got to 2 commas. It's just playing a board game, So I still do the same thing. What's funny is that the people who are also up there, they're like, wait, you want to play a board game? Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to play a board game. Where's the fancy keynote and PowerPoint presentation? No. We don't need that. We're just going to be regular people and play a board game and have some chips and soda. We're good, right? They're like, okay, but it works because you're building a business to serve humans. It's hospitality, and you're building it with other humans. So just treat everybody as humans, and they'll gladly contribute their resources to your endeavor if they only know that they can.
So for anybody who doesn't know, can you just please explain to me the cash flow board game? Who is it by and why that game?
I was like, oh, well, sorry. They're always within arm's reach. So this board game is the board game that I'm referring to. It's made by Robert and Kim Kiyosaki. It's been around for 30 years, 20 years, 30, I don't know, 25 years or so. And if you've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, same guy. Okay. And that board game is the simulation before the real thing. So, right. One of the reasons we are often, because humans, we're scared. We have fear during the purchase process. And then we have to deal with greed during the selling process. But that's two different things. But the way you can lower that fear is to simulate. Before we put one of our young people into a very expensive piece of machinery known as a fighter jet for the military, they go into a simulator, period. Because to practice, when it really counts, matters. And that's what they do. They put many hours in that thing. And the cash flow game is the same way. It's a simulation of the real thing that gives you and I access to an understanding of, oh, so this is how it works. By not simulating, you start skipping steps, and that's where the anxiety comes from, because you're like, okay, what's going to happen? But when you can play that board game, you can lower someone's anxiety, your own included. You can get used to saying things like $100,000 a month or 100,000 euro a month or pounds. Depends on where you are, right? I got it. Anyway, so my point is, you can get used to those things, because the first time you say something like that, it may sound fake or foreign, or you're like, yeah, but that's not me. And it takes time to resolve that cognitive dissonance. And the game can do that for you to the point to where it becomes natural for you to say, yeah, I woke up this morning and already had $10,000 and I'm going to go to work now. Right. And it takes a while. It can take a while for that to happen, but normalizing it is what's key, and playing it with your kids even better, because the sooner they get used to seeing mom and dad have those types of conversations, it normalizes it for them, so that they start thinking, well, how can I make $100,000 this year? And they're still they haven't even gone to university yet, but they're thinking all about that process ahead of time, because here's the truth of the matter. We've all gone through transformation somehow. And this game is at the center of it. And you can intentionally create that transformation for other people while educating them, while having fun, AKA you become the educator of your marketplace and therefore dominate it. Thank you very much. This started off as being a marketing podcast, and now it's gone into money mindset, and I love it. So thank you very much, Jay, for taking it on all the routes. So what we're going to do now, like I said at the start, is we're going to bring it back. And what I want to do is I want one of the Boostly Academy members that's in the Zoom room with us to be able to jump on the call and have a marketing review live. Now, like Jay says, he shoots from the hip. And Greg, I've literally just scrolled up and down, and your stingrayvilla.com was the first one that stood out to me. So Greg, if you could do me a favor, Mr. Greg Lupone of Stingray Villa, if you could unmute yourself, that'd be lovely. Jay, if you want to go to the website, so it'll be stingrayvilla.com. Okay. Greg, how are we doing?
Doing fine.
Greg. So Greg, what I'm going to let you do is I'm just going to let you very quickly just say hi to Jay and just give a very quick overview of where you are in the world while Jay is having a quick look at the website. Just where you are in the world, what your big struggles are at, and just any questions that you have for Jay. And then what we'll do is I will share my screen and then we'll do a marketing review live, buddy.
Okay. Hi, Jay. We're sitting in Cozumel, Mexico, and I bet we're cooler than you are in Los Angeles.
Very possible. Very possible.
So, biggest struggles, before we hooked up with Mark, trying to get direct bookings was our biggest problem. But we've also done things over the past couple of years, like blogging. We put 140 blogs on our website to try to get the answer man of Cozumel. I think is trying to hit all the articles so we pop up on the first page of Google when people say, "Hey, is Cozumel safe? Hey, what's the fastest internet in Cozumel?" We did that first, and then we fine-tuned everything. When COVID hit, we joined Mark and his Boostly Academy and went that step further. This year, we're actually trying to put more social media out on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn. So, we're doing little by little, and it has been working. I mean, we're completely full right now due to the fact I think people in the United States just had so much pent up demand to travel. We're probably at the top of the market. We fill up first.
Nice. Thank you very much for that, Greg. Mr. Jay Massey, have you been on the website? Let me share up the screen as well. And then what we'll do is we'll just
get it down. Okay, and again, yes, that's the game. But when I was looking at the site, are we going to talk about the site right first, or you want to talk about the game?
Go about the website and then the game. Anything that comes to mind, like you say, I feel.
Okay, go back to the site real fast because since you're sharing your screen, I can show on him when the website popped up. The first thing I noticed, okay. It's more about what I actually didn't notice, is that I did not notice a way to build an email list, and I'm confused. Like there's literally no way to build an email list. Like if I'm ready to book a stay, that's wonderful. But what if I'm not? Am I missing something? Did my browser not work or what?
No, I used to have a pop-up asking to join the email thing, but Google has sent me things that if you have a pop-up on the screen that blocks off more than 30%, they're going to penalize your Google listing.
You were sending straight to Google to that site. Okay, got it. So long story short, there's a way to work that system, and that's why I was wondering. And then ultimately, when I'm looking at this at the beginning, again, I like where you're going with the live at the Cozumel, situation. I would encourage you to rethink your logo a bit, as well as the font you chose. That's literally the first thing I'm looking at. Now, right behind that, I did not pull it up on a mobile device because 9 times out of 10, that's what I'm going to be using anyway. Which means that now, what's going to happen is that once how it looks on mobile. Yeah. All right. So UI, UX, user interface and user experience. There's got to be someone who does that type of work. And then, yes, what you just saw there, what Mark just showed us is that those reviews, why are they so far at the bottom? I would want that sooner. That exactly. Is that Rapuso? Because that's what it looks like.
I don't know who I use. It's one of them.
Okay, that's fine. But yes, I would want that closer to the top because the first thing you've got to build is that trust factor, if you will, so that that's what matters. Is I don't know you yet, and I would like to know you, but you've got to build that trust. Like who else stays there? And you made him, I think it was two scrolls below the fold before we even got to that. And I'm like, okay, so that's potentially a challenge. Now, I love the idea of what you're talking about with the coffee and whatnot, but I don't know that I would have all of this on this very long one page. Do you get my meaning? Because I don't know what your load time is, but I would really want to look at that. And are you using AMP? Do you know what I mean when I say that?
No, I do not.
Got it. So there's two different ways of getting the format of the website to be speedy and formatted. One for mobile, one for desktop, and I would definitely look into that as well. Yeah. See man. I'd want to be really, really clear about what I want people to do, and I get the fact that you want them to book, but that's a problem because what is your bounce rate? Do you know? It's got to be high.
It's 40 to 50.
Your bounce rate is 40 to 50?
Yes.
Is this the page they're entering on? Are you sure?
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's better than what I thought it was going to be. I will say that for sure. So that's good. And once I do click the book, all right, so then I've got, again, brand consistency challenges. Again, I've already mentioned the logo. I've already mentioned the font, but even on my phone, wait, go back to the top. Is it there? Yeah. You've got Stingray Villa on the left and you got Stingray Villa over the top, and that's very valuable real estate. And I don't know that that's the best place for what it is. Do you have Hotjar or something that is doing heat mapping for you?
No, sir.
I would encourage you strongly to find a heat mapping tool and get that sucker plugged in immediately, because I think it's going to give you some information around what your customers are doing, where they're clicking, more importantly, where they're not clicking, and where you've got some wasted space, whether on mobile and or desktop. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
I can keep going, but Mark, am I in the realm of what you were thinking?
No, you've done fantastic, and everything that I wanted. And again, all the context is that Greg is doing like really well, booked up, etc. And I think this is always the trick to go down, is that you could always, there's always something you feel like you need to do. What I'll do, I'll make sure that on the write up, I'll make sure we get Crazy Egg, Hotjar, which are the screen recording ones, in for you, Jay. Greg should be able to check that out, and everybody else. Also, what I'll do as well is just put some other little hints and tips in that blog post as well. But Jay,
a couple other things. We're fast. So
while you're doing that, just as you're doing that, your camera has frozen. We can't see that lovely face.
I didn't realize.
As you're doing that, as you're giving more advice, there you go. You're back.
I'm back. So the other thing that I was thinking about, and when looking at it, is the fact that you are booked. That's good, and also bad, because it could mean that there's likely a significant amount of money left on the table because of what you were talking about. Again, pent up demand, et cetera, et cetera. So while yes, it may sound or feel good to be at 100%, I hate it because it always makes me think I left money on the table or there was something I missed, right? So I don't know if you're doing any pricing studies or tests, but that's something I didn't see it there. I only could find one room. But the reason I'm saying these things is not because, okay, you're booked and that's bad. I'm saying that there's probably even more revenue available for you that you could get, or you could build additional units or go get a bigger property or something, if we just had the data to support it. And I want to be always collecting all of the data you need in order to replicate success. Because if you're going to then build a new website for the next location, you need to know what's working, why, and or why not. And all of those tools are designed so that you can reverse engineer a system that you can then just literally launch and do these things this way, and always have your control that you are split testing against, which gets me to, do you have a split test version of this site?
No, sir.
Got it. Well, I don't. I will let that stop. I think I've made all of the points. I'm just saying, I think all of those things will just help you earn more money. Because are you emailing your people after at all?
Yes.
Okay. Woohoo! I got one. All right, excellent. And then are you asking them, or do you have a referral program of some kind?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Good stuff. All right, perfect. And then does your customer get paid if the referral books?
I don't have it set up for money. They get a couple free nights.
That sounds like a lot. Wouldn't you rather give him like $10 or $15?
Yeah, I guess so.
So that just hear what I'm saying. Immediate gratification of the $10 to $15 is probably way better than a couple of free nights, because that you're actually getting to my next question. The customer acquisition cost, do you know what it is?
No, sir.
Are you running any ads?
No, I'm not.
Got it. Okay. Well, and you're not running any ads, so that means you're not necessarily spending any money in that regard. So no big deal. Does the space have a YouTube channel?
Yes, it does.
And when was the last time you posted a video?
6 months ago.
Okay. I would encourage you to post. Do you have a drone? Like even the mini one, the super mini one?
I have no drones. I'm droneless.
Okay, got it. I think, and so review this later, and everywhere you said no, those are items that can increase your revenue.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. I'll let it sit there. Is there anything you want to ask me though about why any of those things? But does it all make sense?
It all makes sense, and it just gives me another avenue to educate myself.
Yeah. Okay. And hey, with the drone, now you could say, hey, look, honey, it's a business expense. I have to have this. Think about it. I'm trying to help here. Think about it.
Right.
I'm trying to let her get a new truck, and that'll make me the happiest.
Well, let's see. The drone comes first, then comes the truck. Because if I can put our rev par up, a couple $100, or our ADR up, even $3, $4, $5, $6 a night, that's going to pay for the truck.
That's true.
That's how I'd look at it.
Great.
Very good. Thank you so much, sir.
Oh, thank you so much for doing that. Really, really, really appreciate it, my friend. And again, all of the things that to be recorded, so you can come back on it. And anything you want to pick out, more than welcome to. But again, really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Greg. And thank you, Jay, for doing that. Now, is there anybody else that would like to go? If so,
you're done.
What I would love is an Airbnb listing come up as well, because we've done a website.
Okay, sure. Let's do it.
So we'd actually do. We've got Mr. James Nicholson. So James, if you could just very quickly unmute yourself, please, if you could.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Jay.
So this is cool. We've gone from one side of the world all the way over to the United Kingdom. Mr. James Nicholson. What I'll do, Jay, if you can just check the Zoom chat.
Oh, I see it. Got it.
Yep, so we've got the Airbnb.
Yeah, it's pretty recent, the Airbnb one.
Fantastic. So James, just give tons of context to Jay, just as much context about the business and everything that you can do just before he delves in, because like I say, once Jay gets going, he gets going. So the more context that you can give, the better right now, please.
Perfect. So it's basically a rural farm in Somerset. We've got sort of built-in accommodation around the farm, sort of one-bed places, and then a couple of cottages on nearby locations as well. It's basically parents set it up, and I'm just trying to look into the whole marketing side of it and getting out there for people to enjoy, which is this is the first year we've really put it out there.
Okay, got it.
And at the moment, we're getting a lot of referral business, and in terms of people who've been there or stayed in some of the other bits around.
Okay. Are you offering any additional services like food?
It's interesting when we did have a lot of people request food, so we're trying to do something like that, at least little bits for people to have. But most places have their own kitchen as well. Well,
it's a farm. As soon as you say farm, I would rather eat the food that's there. That's like part of the experience, right? Because
definitely.
It's almost setting the expectation, especially if they're coming from the United States, because we have a number of what we call farm to table restaurants. And that idea that I would look at that. All right. So I will say a couple of things. I am people call me not so nice names when I start reviewing their photos, because I am really like, it's the story, my friend, the story in the photos. It's 1,000 words, and it's 1,000 words that could say, oh, look, I took care, concern, I thought of you. Or it could say, hey, look, I found this in the rubbish. So, hey, come on in and stay. right? And if you can control that narrative, why not? One of the things that I have personal issue with are photos like these because it reveals the location. Now, it may be fine in your case because you're in the, I don't know, what's next door, sheep, but so that could be okay. I have trouble. Like, for example, one of the number one reasons I would not stay here is because the location is revealed in a public situation. That just does not make me feel safe, and is something that we avoid in all of our photos, is revealing the location just through the photos. So after you make a reservation, no problem, different story there. So that's one of the things. I'm gonna see if I can't find a different and or better feature photo for you. Okay, so here's another one. This is a good example of a lot of things. I'm assuming this was a cell phone photo, and give me a second. Someone who's about 5'10", yes, took this photo.
I'm not sure, but possibly.
Yeah, it's about 5'10" is my guess. And so there's a number of things that are off because of the perspective. Right, this sets the wrong expectation. Unless your walls are actually slanted, it's probably not a good idea, right? It's that perspective, because what happens is it can make, in this case, it's making the room look longer than it probably is, and then means, hey, Mr. Customer, this room, this is what it looks like, and they get there and they go, oh my God, it's so tiny. And that becomes a challenge, or it shows up in your review. Also, in the photos, I tend to want to superimpose as opposed to having the black on the TV. By the way, good job posting it on the wall and hiding the wires. Hallelujah. Thank you. But I like to superimpose images on the television to, again, create more atmosphere, if you will. Also love the idea of the speakers being there as well from a safety aspect. So so we need a real camera. A real camera, and because an actual, did you use a professional photographer?
Yes, it was a friend though. But it's interesting, I think you're saying because of the angle coming from, I can see now, I've never seen them like that before.
Oh yeah, I haven't even gotten to the white balance, because see, this photo right here is completely out of focus. But this one also is slanted. Again, you've got a perspective shift where they're shooting in a downward motion. That's how I was guessing at their height, because I'm like, okay, I think I know what's going on here. And the challenge is that that doesn't quite work, and it just doesn't work. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're going to make money because you're present. But when you want to make the most amount of money, there are different. Sorry, I paused because I was like, wait a minute, this might be the best photo I've seen so far. Just even though now it's, but here's the challenge. It's a story you already told, because you remember earlier you have the exact same angle, exact same shot. So if I was going to choose of the two photos that I've seen of this angle, this shot, I would choose this one over that one. Oh, hello. Look at this. Now we got one. Okay. It's still a little crooked, but it's not bad. I like where we're headed. Do you get lots of questions around, hey, how many plates, or is there going to be plates and cups? Do you get those questions yet?
Not yet, no.
You're going to, because you're not telling them that they're there. I'm assuming they're there, but I have to assume. Not everybody is going to assume. So if you don't show it, if you don't say it, they're going to assume it's not there. Meaning you're going to, so while they're typing into the message center, hey, are there cups? Right after they hit enter, they're going to be going to the next listing. And if the next listing answers all their questions in the photos, they're going to make that reservation. And by the time you get back to them, they're going to be like, oh, sorry, we already made a reservation. And it's simply because you didn't finish telling the story in your photos. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah, no, that does. That's great.
So you want to put yourself in a situation, your first line of defense for customer experience or customer service is your listing. Answer all the questions in as few pictures as possible. By the way, you only have 10. I tend to go for 22 to 27, somewhere in there. Around 24 as we end up landing, because you want to tell the entire story. Because right now, I'm assuming I've got access to a kitchen and a bedroom. And I'm beginning to wonder if this bathroom is shared, because I have no idea.
Sure.
Yeah, so those are the things that I have questions about. And I'm not saying that that's good or bad, because again, you're present. Being present is in a lot of cases, it's enough. However, if you want to maximize, and definitely if you want to scale, and if you want to become predictable, my friend, that is where I come from. I am so not the guy. If you only want one, I'm not the guy. But if you want, 10, 20, you want to put 2 commas in your bank account, that's kind of my specialty and where I look at. So I always look for a way to scale what's here. Next, when it comes to this text, people don't like to read. And if you haven't learned that, so I need bullet points. No one is ever reading this paragraph right here. Like, they're just not. And why is the word buzzards in there? What is going, as well as the Okay, awesome. All right, buzzards it is. So 60 acres of land. Wow. Yep. Bro, you have a gold mine here if repossession didn't use properly. Oh my good Lord.
So that's the amazing thing, is where people get to come and enjoy the whole place. And that's why I was trying to show the pictures outside.
Well, notice I didn't get any of that until I got to those words, which most people won't. Most people are going to skip. Okay. Now I'm going to give you some hints on your title that I would really, really encourage you to make some adjustments to, because it's going to influence your click through. So farm stay is okay, wonderful, but if you haven't gotten it yet, you're going to get the do we have Wi-Fi? And I saw down here, you're like, yeah, you do. So I would put farm stay, fast Wi-Fi. And you said you were going to do the food, or no?
We will be doing some food, yeah.
Okay, so then farm stay, fast Wi-Fi on 60 acres.
Yep.
That is a completely different than farm stay hosted by Upper Vobster Farm. I don't know who was that the city?
No, that's the farm name. It was trying to get people to come direct to us.
Okay. And I would, so I would, those are the things that I'm thinking about is farm stay, like I said, farm stay, fast Wi-Fi on 60 acres. Oh, really? Wow. Just those words alone are more clickable than what you've got there.
Totally.
Are you aware of, there's a tool out there that does that tracks the emotionality of words? Oh man, what is that tool called? I'm trying to remember it, where you can put in your title and it'll give you the emotional sentiment behind those titles to help you understand how clickable it might be. Do you know the tool I'm referring to?
No idea.
I'll see if I can find it during the rest of the time that we have. But I mean, I could keep going, but I think that's more than enough for now.
That's amazing.
Hold on.
Jay, is that tool called TwinWord by chance? I'm trying to Google it as you are talking.
No, that's not it. No, that's not it. Your check-in's only from 5 to 8. What's up with that?
We're kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, I got that.
Get people.
You said farm. That part was clear. So, but I'm just
we could do check-in it. We've done check-in like 3 a.m., but it's more where people want to come direct to us and talk to us about it.
Okay, so if that's the case, then are you doing like a minimum 7-day stay or something?
On here, 2 nights. Because we were trying to, otherwise it's just not working. We were trying to do more than 3 nights, but.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay. I think with some of the things that I'm thinking and have said, I think you can get this to a minimum 7 and then have a narrow check-in window and begin to attract a completely different customer, especially with some upgrades to the photos and the description of the experience. Remember, it's about the experience at the property, not the property. And you're describing the property mostly. I want you to describe the experience. What is it like to wake up and see buzzards? I mean, you put it in there for a reason. So what's that like? Because I don't know. I'm not even sure I want it.
It's amazing. It's like you just wake up with all the nature. That's the beauty of it.
And that's what I need in a photo. That's what I need in the title. That's what I need in the description. Because if I don't have that, I'm left to wonder and pretend I have no imagination, like most customers don't. And you got it, because if you don't tell them, they don't imagine it at all. But if you can show it, capture it, get me, and if you want to do some of the outside photos, that's great. But get me some sunsets, some early morning sunrises. Get me a photo of the wildlife. If Bambi is
we've got millions of them.
I want to see Bambi.
Yeah. Well, I can do that. We've got wild deer as well. So.
James, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Like I said, I can do this for a while. This is fun for me.
James, thank you so much for that. Jay, I want you to repeat one thing that you said. Experience to stay. Repeat that one. Share the experience of the stay, not the experience of the property.
Experience at the property, not the property. And you need to be able to describe what is the experience. What is it like to wake up next to? I mean, if you've got buzzards and that's a feature, I want to know what that looks like. It feels like, sounds like. I need to be able to almost smell the eggs cooking in the kitchen when I look at your photo. Go, yeah. Right. And or hear the shower running because it's early morning when I look at the photo or read the words, and everything has to be congruent to that effect. And you will increase your ADR all day long. And occupancy, you can start to demand, like I said, the minimum 7 days and all these other things, but you have to describe the experience at the property, not describe the property.
James, any final things that you'd like to say to Jay? Last thing.
That's amazing. Thank you very much. It's awesome.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Right. Do we have time for one more? Is anybody brave enough?
If they're willing and no one's been scared off yet, then I'll do it.
I mean, we've got a couple of people in the chat saying I'm scared. But
exactly. I get it. But here's what I will say. If you take this on, you'll make more money. You'll serve more people. Your business will grow. That is what I do, like all day, because I want everybody, because I can't house them all. Neither can Mark. We'll try, but we can't. So we want everyone to experience what we get to experience. And that's why we do it. That's why we do what we do, is to help more people feel and see and experience the world that we live in, if that makes sense. Am I right, Mark?
Yeah, 100%. What I would love, because we've done like a villa, we've done a farm stay. What I would love is a guest house. So Jane put her hands up, and Jane, if you are, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to grab the link for you a second, Jay, and then you can have a quick look at it. And which is in here. All right, so it's Jay, so it's fieldslodge.co.uk, and I'll put it in the chat for you as well in the Zoom.
Yeah, that'd be great. That would make it for me.
Yeah. It's just in there in the chat. Just while you're pulling up the website, Jay, Jane. So we've got Jay and Jane. Jane, could you just unmute yourself, please? There we are. Hello, Jane. Good evening.
Hello. I must say I've got butterflies in my belly now.
Yeah, you're gonna love this accent. So this is
accent. But Jay is brilliant. What a breath of fresh air. This is fantastic to listen to.
Thank you. I appreciate that, ma'am. Okay, this is you.
This is me.
Okay, excellent. Okay. Where's the first guy? Did you see this? That was on a delay. It looks like 30 seconds. That's all I'm saying. 30-second delay. Thank you for working on this. I love it.
And one thing, Jane has got fantastic email list, fantastic emails.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she focused on that. I can see that. Okay, so some of I think I feel what you're going for, especially with these first 3 photos. The challenge though is that they're very low resolution. So if you can, I would get some higher resolution photos, just because, so they don't look so grainy. Especially with today's phones and any of the iPhones, man, the resolution on those things is so good. I love this food picture, by the way. This over here, not so much, because again, it's off axis and off angle. I to like bedroom shots that are straight on, but we'll get to more. But I just want to contrast this versus the other one we saw from the beginning. She had the delayed pop-up. It looked like it was around 30 seconds. She's got the photos that the gallery photos that are switching, and on each one, I want everyone to pay attention to. She's got her credibility sitting at the bottom, and it's different each time, which is again another symbol of trust, because that's one of the first things that we've got to build. Now, I don't know where the reviews are, so I find that interesting. That shows up for me as a missing at this moment, like, where are the reviews? Additionally, I would relook at this. Your banner is just way too large up here. So that's a lot of valuable screen real estate that could be better used in some other way. And now up here, we have lots of choices. All right. What was really good about the other website is that there was a choice, right? There was a choice. Here, I'm feeling like there's just too many choices, and I would explore a different menu or directory system up here. Again, do you have Hotjar or something that shows you where the heat maps is, where people are clicking?
No, I don't, but I will do by tomorrow.
I love that attitude. Yes, because moving at the speed of instruction is what we call it. I get excited for that. My guess is that there are only a few of these up here that people are actually clicking on that really don't need to be here. And you'll begin to learn a lot about what people are clicking on as well. Plus, I don't know if you've realized, but you got Book My Stay up here as well as right here. And again, there's just a lot of wasted space here. And don't get me wrong, I like your photos. I like what you're doing. I'm almost, though, going to say I would prefer to see it more in a framed style, because I don't know if you've seen where they have, 3 or 4 photos in a frame, but not all of them have to be the same shape and size. That would at least be a little bit more lively. And ultimately, you've got a lot of red and green, and all I can think of is Christmas. And I'm like, I don't think that's what she's after, but it's what it evokes. It's okay. So everywhere. And that's fine. I'm just letting you know that if that was intentional, great. If not, then consider. Of all these awards, I still would like to see reviews from real people that have stayed here.
Yeah, that should be on there somewhere. I don't know why it's not on the homepage. It's obviously dropped off and I don't even know about it.
Yeah, I was wondering why I wasn't on the homepage myself.
Yeah.
Stop that. There we go. There we go.
What?
I
see it. But do you understand the problem? Do you see how the problem is? It's so small.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem is that it's so small that we were looking for it and had to find it.
Yeah. And it's my own site.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So this is right here, this free guide. Do you have a video version of this?
No, but I can. Yeah.
Okay. So what I would love is a video version of this, even if it's only voiceover and you just flipping through the photos, talking about it.
Okay.
That would be so great, to say the least. And then you know what? Because you're on you're on an island, aren't you?
We're in Wales, so I'm on a peninsula.
Yeah. Okay. So it's hard to get to you, right?
Yes, it is. It's a long way to get to us.
So here's one of the things that I was thinking about for you, and others, you might want to pick this up too. There's a company out here. It's called Multitasker. What they literally build is a VR version of the inside of of your place. So that so someone could come to your site on an Oculus headset and literally, quote unquote, walk around in a VR space. Because you're hard to get to, I think that to your advantage to use. And these are the guys that do it. Then now, obviously, they do it for construction and all kinds of things like that. But repurposing it for our purposes makes a ton of sense too, especially since you have, where did it go? This guide. I'm willing to bet that. Do you have a drone?
No, but I wrote drone in big capital letters earlier.
You've got too much green, pretty puffins and bird. You've got to get this place shot from above so that people just go, you want those photos where people stare at it. Like you do in the morning sometimes. You look and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I live here. That's what you want me to say when I look at your photos.
I forgot to warn everybody just before we started that Jay is a drone fan. I've seen the proof on his vlogs. He loves the drone. He loves the drone. So he's mentioned it 2 out of 3 reviews. I'm amazed he didn't mention it for poor James. So drone.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, hold on. So there's a number. What is that? Interesting. So you've got, well, okay. So the puffins are a thing. Is that like why people come out there?
That's a huge thing. Yeah.
Then how come?
And that's my fudge.
I'm just going to ask, are puffins green?
No, puffins are black.
Yeah, I didn't think they were. I'm just trying to understand the Christmas tree for the logo and the you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's because I got a massive fir tree in the garden.
Oh, but the puffins, you said the puffins.
Yes. Yeah. But puffins are also huge here as well.
Yeah. Yes. But all the more reason, because what's more likely to be typed in a search engine? Puffins?
Puffins. Oh, puffins. Definitely.
Okay. So let's leverage what's going to be typed in the search engine anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, because you and what's really interesting to me, because this is what got my attention. Buy your tickets online to see the puffins.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Do you realize that this is at the bottom of the page?
Yeah, I do now. Yeah.
I'm like, okay. If that is supposed to be a thing, and because I'm not seeing, I mean, maybe I missed it. Yeah, no puffins.
So yeah, fair point. Yes, absolutely. Fresh pair of eyes. Thank you.
Just don't go flying a drone near those poor puffins.
No, absolutely not. I'll get fired.
I understand. I'm just trying to point out. Oftentimes we don't leverage the things because, again, I live in Southern California. I really have no desire to go to Disneyland. I don't, and I know that's why people are coming. So guess what? I start mentioning Disneyland because it's why they're coming anyway.
Yeah.
So there's no sense in me taking the time to mention something else when you're coming for Disneyland.
Yeah.
That's why you're coming. So I'm going to leverage that to my advantage as much as I possibly can. And that is what I don't see. And it looks like, yeah, I like, and I love the fact that you have your own products and stuff, but puffins first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's why they're coming. And then, like I said, you evoke a lot of thoughts of Christmas with between the color schemes and the logo. And I'm just like, well, maybe that's intentional, but it's not why they're coming.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Does that help you?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've written loads of things down and I'll go back on the video. That was brilliant. Thank you.
Now, does anybody have a Scottish accent? That would just be fun for me. If you do, I would love to do one more.
We've got Welsh. We've done English now. Has anybody got a Scottish? I don't know if we've got any Scottish.
I mean, it feels like we've covered all, a good gambit of them. So I was like, come on, man, there's got to be one.
Jane, one thing I forgot to mention, Jay, one thing about the Boostly Academy members is that they are action takers. And I know you love action takers. They are action takers. So when Jane says she's going to get this done, it is going to get done. So,
which right now in her time, that's like, what, 5 hours from now. So I'm just like, okay, let's do it.
I'm looking at the people who may have a Scottish accent or an Irish accent. I don't know.
That'll work. That'll work too. That'll work.
I don't think we do.
That one would work too.
Shirley's not here. She'd have been perfect. So Shirley's got a cave house in Spain, and it's a
wow.
So, but unfortunately not. But let's tell you what, Jay, we've kept you for just over an hour. I really do want to honor your time, and I just want to say thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, no problem. I had fun. I appreciate you guys humoring me. I want everyone to win. So if there's anything more that I can do, well, I'll definitely be on Clubhouse. So let's catch up there for sure.
Yeah, Jay is in the Clubhouse. You can go find him. Is it at Cashflow Diary on the Clubhouse? Yeah.
Cashflow Diary. Yes, exactly. At Cashflow Diary on Clubhouse is where you can definitely find me, as well as Cashflow Diary on all other social media.
Yeah, and like I say, even though Jay hasn't done a YouTube video in 2021, that doesn't mean that the back catalog isn't unbelievable and full of so many tips. I've been watching it today, checking up on the vlog and everything, and it's great to go back on. So please do that at Cash Flow Diary. Jay, again, just one more time, thank you very much for answering all those questions and doing the market reviews, and especially a big mention to Greg, to James, and to Jane. It's not easy being up on the stage and having the spotlight shone on you, but you did really well, to every single one of you. So thank you very much for doing so. All right, Jay, thank you again. I'm going to let you all go. As always, we will be doing this again. For those of you that are watching that are not in the Zoom room, that are watching this on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and you're thinking, I want to be part of this, just go to boostlyacademy.com. You can join there. Until next time, please always remember, be proactive, don't be reactive, and let's go and get some direct bookings. Take care, everybody.